Hello, everyone. This is Chris Frederick with Stretch to Win, and I'm so excited to be here with Terra Martin. And I just had a session. I just have to be transparent, honest. I just had an amazing initial session with Terra, who's helping me through some things. And the reason why I'm doing this with Terra is for you guys, the FST family, to have the same benefit I did on whatever level it turns out to be for you. So thank you, Terra, for being here,
Mm.
and take the mic.
Okay. Um, as a hypnotherapist for the last 40 years, I learned how to distill a lot of methods plus my own method. And the basic bottom line that can be used by any practitioner is pay attention to the words that people say. Meaning, if your client comes to have a fascial stretch and they have a certain dialogue with you, and they say things like, "Oh, that's such a pain in the neck." In the process of working with them, you can ask them to mentally repeat, "It's a pain in the neck." Because what you're having them do is unwind the suggestion they've given to themselves over a year, 5 years, 10 years, unwind and release emotions at the same time that you're doing the stretch, because you are touching their neural pathways, you're touching their fascia, and it can be loosened up. And it's not crossing over barriers. You're not asking for what the event is. You don't need to know that. You just need to use metaphors in the sense of you've got them on the table and they've mentioned the neck, or they've mentioned the stomach, weak stomach, or they mention they can't stand. You have them repeat it in their head while you're doing the work, because it'll enhance and it'll increase the motion and release emotions through the body parts as you're doing the touch. So it becomes twice as effective, because there's a lot you can do with fascial stretch, but if the emotion gets cemented and stuck in certain body parts, you get that sticky stuff. And you can't move forward, even though you're doing all the great techniques and everything. It just needs that extra zing of, I can't stomach, I can't stand. You're finding in their body where they are depositing a lot of emotions. But you're not crossing over, because you're not going into events. You're just finding locations and using words. And the words we say are instructions to our body parts. Even though we don't know it, they're instructions to our body parts. And these instructions are fulfilled by our body, because our body wants to please our mind. And our mind doesn't realize that our body will take everything literal. So if you say you're a pain in the neck, the body goes, "Can do. I will create a pain in the neck." The mind says, "I can't stomach something." The mind goes, "I can give myself indigestion, no problem. I'll find a way. I'll eat the wrong foods, I'll do something, and I want to make you happy." And it's the relationship between the mind's instructions and the body wanting to please. And that relationship between mind body is one that the instructions have to be trimmed down and slimmed down. So as they become more conscious of what they think, then they can change their instruction of "I can't stand" becomes "I am standing." And you can even apply that. And I can give you a list of metaphors that you could work with, that they just think. They don't have to say it, they have to think it while you're doing the different pieces of work. And the results will be kind of really magical. Will be emotional and physical results, because you guys always get physical results.
Well, you're an FST practitioner level 3, right?
Right,
And
right.
so maybe give us a scenario that you've used it for low back pain or anything that comes to
Well,
mind, and what does it look like for an FST practitioner to integrate?
um, say when you're doing when you're putting raising the foot up and doing this, and
So,
people are stiff in the legs,
so straight leg raise,
the
right?
straight leg raise.
Okay.
Um, when you're doing that and you feel that, you say, "I can stand." Ask them to think, "I can stand." And then
Are you saying this, or the client, or you're telling the client to
I'm
say this?
I'm asking the client to think it
To
while
think,
I'm doing that. "I
I
can
can
stand,"
stand.
and just say, "I am standing." Right, and then you do both legs, and you'll feel, if that's one of their metaphors, you'll feel a release on top of what you're creating.
Oh, okay, okay. So at you can't hurt anything by saying anyway,
No,
client say I can stand, because if it's really not a metaphor in their body for a
something they
mental,
use. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
if it's a non-physical, if they don't have a non-physical issue there, no
Right,
harm, no foul, they're still getting a good stretch.
exactly.
And
But
it's not, sorry, I just want to make sure I
you're
got
good.
this right. It's not a non-physical thing, it's more of a fascial, myofascial thing, probably.
Correct.
Okay.
And there's maybe 5 to 10 common metaphors that everyone uses, one or three or five of them. So it's just part of the practice, and it's not going to bring up generally traumas, but it will move emotions through the body parts and make your job so much easier in the different positions that you put them in.
So I just want to also say something here. I'm just imagining me that I'm doing this, right? And so when you say you can stand and you go up and you, let's say you hit R1, you
Right,
didn't say anything to the client. You hit that first resistance, raising the leg.
right,
Then, if that's it, you can actually do the FST work. And let's say it's not releasing, as fast or as well as you
right,
would expect. So
correct,
then you say you can stand, client, Mr. Smith, say you can stand, you can stand. Just say this with me. Maybe you explain
right.
what you're doing. And then you feel this, the tissue releases.
It will, yes,
So
it's
that's
the
how it
weird,
works? Is that how
yeah,
it works?
it's that
That's
how it
so
works.
cool.
And
That's how it
as it's,
works.
you feel it, and all of a sudden it just gives, and you go, oh, it's almost gummy, right? It's like, and you go, okay, but they're doing it. It's them facilitating that space. They are opening emotional space, which opens physical space.
What's your description? You said it was gummy and now it's not gummy. What
Right.
is that?
It's a gummy sensation. Like it'll feel like it's
Oh,
just, yeah,
like taffy, right?
yes, yeah. It feels like it's a pull of all of a sudden the constriction of the fascia due to, say, the emotion around it kind of releases, and it goes, oh, I can breathe. I can stretch. I'm pliable.
And
But
now some people will be afraid. Some FT practitioners, are they going to start crying on me? Are they going to have these emotional things that I now have to deal with? And some people are good with that and some are not. Is there any
correct.
guidance for that? We always say have a box of Kleenex. You're not a psychologist. Just be
Yeah,
there as a human being, right? Just be compassionate and give them space, whether they want to continue or you should stop and they just need to release things.
right.
Should I stay in the room? Should I leave for a little bit? Things like that. Is that true?
I
I mean,
wouldn't
I mean,
leave. I wouldn't leave them.
I mean, guidance. If you can give a few guidance for people who have
Right,
no experience with people just having an emotional release.
right. You have to treat an emotional release just the same as you would treat a physical release. Don't respond to it. Just be present.
Okay.
Like you're not there to empathize or sympathize, or you're there to be a mirror. Actually, you're there to bounce it back into them because you want them to have the full experience of that release. And because you're working with metaphors, and that's a very logical area, it generally doesn't bring up memories. It brings up, you're kind of skirting across the top of a memory, but you're not going into the cavern.
I love that. I love that because pure body workers really, they need this. They really,
Yeah,
really need this. That completes the body work and it takes it actually to a whole nother level. And then beyond that, they can refer to people like you. I mean, first, I would say to you.
right.
Uh, and if you want to take that on, extra clients. And at the end of this, we'll give you contact information.
This is actually a very nice kit for an FST practitioner. And the reason I know it is because I found FST to be my completion to my hypnotherapy. And when I
Wow.
put the two together, I go, oh, this is amazing. The one thing I found doing it though is you do less postures, you do less of everything because it's so much more complete in the results. So sometimes 2 or 3 postures get you farther than doing the whole routine. And not that there's not anything wrong with the whole routine, but
Right, right.
because they've moved emotions around, they can't actually do a full routine because they've changed space in their body.
Ah,
So generally they'll sleep more the next day, or they'll have a response. And I don't mean
So maybe, are you saying less is more, where you're
less is
advising?
more because
Yeah.
you're doing more integration, right? So what maybe 6 postures would get you, 3 postures get you.
And when you say posture, you're talking about each sort of quadrant, or each stretch in a
Each
sense.
stretch.
Okay.
But say, for example, if they have shoulder issues, I'm a responsible person. So they put all the responsibility on their shoulders, which means they will have tight shoulders, which means they store a lot of emotions in that body part. When you do your shoulder work and they're repeating that, the shoulders get loose very quickly. So you wouldn't have to do as much or
Hmm.
as in depth because they're doing it. They're doing that piece for you. Their
Got
body
it.
cooperating by saying, sure, I don't need that emotion. And they
But
start shifting it.
so practically speaking, I see that some people say, well, then I only need about 30-minute sessions for something like that, versus, which you don't know until you see a person, versus, okay, I released it. Let's go to the lower body. I did the shoulders. They carry the world on their shoulders. They had a big release. Would
Correct.
it be okay for them to continue on their feet, on their legs, and just doing a general mobility, just a nice thing, without trying to change anything, to complete the body
For
mind?
sure. I would do everything
Okay.
till they tell me that it's not that I shouldn't. I
Ah,
would still do everything, which means if you're dealing with 3 metaphors, I can't stand, I can't stomach, it's on my shoulders, I can't face. I would do it because I believe, people should, have the most benefit.
okay, great.
But if someone is experiencing, because there's always the next day that the result will be even more intense. And I don't mean as in pain, I just mean as in um, sleep more, eat less. There's some sensation differences that happen when you
Great.
do that kind of clearance, because once you make space in the body. But as far as needing less, no, people will come, they will want to feel like that every week.
I think we can end the interview on that note. And I wanted to ask you, at this point, without any pressure, what can we do as a follow-up? Would it be, and I could do this with you, would it be like just a simple PDF document of metaphors, like
Sure.
the most common metaphors, maybe, to make it simple? Let's make it simple, practical, and easily implementable, so they
Good.
can do it.
I'll send you a PDF, and
Oh,
these are
great.
the common metaphors that you can use 5 of them, 7 of them in a session and test it out. Like
Great. That would be
like
amazing.
when you test it out, it's phenomenal when you get that feeling. You go, oh my goodness, there are emotions. Now we all know there's emotions, but the proof of that and the release of that is very exciting, because it just says body, mind, soul. I mean, there it is, body,
Yeah.
mind, soul, right? And it's done in such a way that it's not going to touch off, unless people are so inclined to be traumatized. It won't bring up too much. It'll bring up a little bit, but it's not therapy, it's therapeutic.
It might be a bridge for them to then get a referral to a more of a
If they
professional.
need if they need it, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But if they're in it just to make their body feel much better, this is a quick
That
way
would
to do
work.
it.
That would work for most people. So, what is your contact information, if you're willing to give it to, let's say, the FC family, your family, who wants to refer someone who needs, more
Need
professional
more?
help?
I can give you my email, or they can text me if they
Yeah.
want.
Okay.
Okay. I give it to you here. Okay. Note, NOTE, the number 2, Terra, TERRA @gmail.com. And my phone number is 416-500-0624. And they can text me there and just tell me it's through Chris, so I know that it isn't some advertising company trying to contact me.
And great. And you're in, is it Toronto,
I'm in
Ontario?
Toronto, yeah.
Perfect. So we'll end the interview now. Thank you so much with that. And then I'll talk to you for just another few minutes after we just end this. So thank you
Perfect.
for your time. I can't wait to share this with everybody. And then I hope to hear from people just, about their successes with it.
Right. And you can pass it out as um, do tests, like you and a bunch of others try it out and pool your information, say, I got this response, I noticed this. I mean, it just build it. It's like, it's really exciting to watch and to experience it.
Well, we can start if people are interested, and I think so. In our community, in our
Mhm.
we have a fairly still new website. I can create a separate special interest group, if you
Oh,
will,
perfect. Yeah,
of just of the what do you call the Martin method.
right. And I'm excited for you to prove it to you. Like, it's one thing I believe it after 40 years, but for you experiencing it, it's that new thing. It's always exciting.